Okay, so I'm going to get into Sherman Leader, where I've chosen the Bulge campaign and we're playing Cutoff. And so what I like about this game is that there's a operational campaign area where, so for instance, like this is the front line and these guys are behind my lines, those are behind their lines. And so if there are guys behind my lines and I don't take care of them, then I lose SO points. And then if I lose more SO points, then you lose the game eventually. You just run out of SO points. And so there's 6. If this guy is in the area after the first turn, I'm gonna lose 6. All these guys are gonna move up because there's a +2 to their, that's tactical movement, I'm sorry. Anyway, they're gonna be moving up into my area. So you want to target the ones that are most forward first, get them out of the way, and then you can start hitting them behind their lines and start pushing them back basically. So you get an ebb and flow to how the campaign is going, which something I really enjoy about Tiger Leader and Sherman Leader before Spruance Leader. I thought these were the best. And so I've been playing Spruance Leader quite a bit, and I thought maybe, I should just do something different just to shake things up and pull out Sherman Leader, which I haven't played in a long time because I normally play Tiger Leader because I think it's a little bit better. And so I'm gonna play with Sherman Leader, see if I can contest that view a little bit. Anyway, the reason why I think Tiger Leader is better is because you go up against different countries. There's more variety. So when you're fighting Poland, you have smaller tanks. The enemy only has small tanks. Otherwise, the enemy is pretty much the same throughout the war. It's just their tanks get better as time goes on, and of course, your equipment gets better. But for the Americans, so your equipment does get better, just like the Germans. However, instead of the enemies, the Polish have small tanks, and then you get up to like the Americans and Russians, which have bigger tanks. Instead, you have the real individual tanks. So this is one thing I really like about Sherman Leader, is that you are using different kinds of tanks. So instead of a standard American tank, which is very generic, basically it's a Sherman coming at you, you have different types of tanks. You have a Tiger coming after you. You can have Panzer III, Panzer IV, Panther, King Tiger in this instance. And I think that's really cool that they did that in Sherman. That's one thing I really like about Sherman Leader, is that you have a randomized amount of type of tanks. So for instance, if I am going up against the scout force here, they have 2 tanks. And so all of these are going to go into a cup, and I pull 2 of them. So I could pull a Tiger and a King Tiger, and now I'm in real trouble. Or I might pull 2 Panzer IIIs, or 1 Panzer III and a King Tiger. You never know what's going to come at you. So there's a sense of randomness, but it's also, I like the flavor in the battles. Now, earlier years, you're going to see more Panzer IIIs, and you're not going to see Tigers or King Tigers. And then later on in the war, you're going to see more bigger tanks. But I like that about Sherman Leader. That's one advantage over Tiger Leader that it has, is this part right here. Otherwise, they're pretty much the same. In fact, this map that I'm using here is technically Tiger Leader. You can see German staging. It's supposed to be friendly staging. So that's one thing that I like. It's very compatible with each other. Once you learn the rules for one, you learn the rules for the other. All right, so let's take a look with Bulge. I had a lot of recruits, green, average, that I had to get through before I could get the skilled and then veteran. So what I did was I just took really cheap units like half tracks. I got a bunch of recruits for the light armor, as you can see over here. That'll be driving my half tracks. And I did get 1 tank, actually 1 tank destroyer, Hellcat, and I put my armor guy on there, which is Tulitsky, and I made him one of the veterans. And then I have 1 piece of artillery right over here. It is the 3-inch gun, and the rest is infantry. So it's basically the, you know, this is the 101st Airborne, because the mission that I have, or campaign, is cut off. And basically I'm cut off. I've got 3 weeks to fight this battle. And I'm not really going up against a heavy enemy. However, I don't get any weekly SO points. The only way I can get SO points is by destroying battalions. I can get 17, which is pretty good for 3 weeks over that time, but I'm not going to get anything initially. But I do have a lot of starting points, 60 here, and then for the campaign, 43. So this is, I start off with a lot of stuff. I've maxed out all my infantry leaders, so I've got all the infantry leaders set up. And what I plan to do is that I plan to attack the 4A, which is right here that I showed you, the scout force. That's the main thing that I gotta kill. So I'm gonna send the bulk of my forces, my best troops, my tank destroyer, after this scout force. We have to take it out. The two real problems here are, well, the problem here really is the 2 tanks. Friendly staging. Friendly units cannot attack on turn 1. Does that mean I can't attack them on turn 1? Anyway, if I can't attack them, then I'm going after a whole bunch of these other guys here. But yeah, friendly units cannot attack on turn 1. I don't know, I have to look that up. Anyway, I was going to target this guy. And then they've got a scout group here, which is not very hard. A couple of bazookas and infantry, maybe machine gun should handle that. And then I was going to go after 5S, which is this thing right here. And again, this is all infantry. So I'm going to use mortars, artillery to dig these guys out. And that should take them out. Now if I take out 3, that'll get me my first 10 SO points, which will be good. And I've got 10 SO points in reserve, just in case. But if I could take these 2 out and then the 5S, as you can see here, these 3 might move up, but I've got 2 stationary back here, the 2 supply and a command. And so this guy might move up, but the worst that can happen is that they start moving up to the front line, and then I can start pounding them again. So that is my plan. I'm going to find out about that rule about the scout force, and I will get started on this this campaign here. But I plan on making 3 attacks in my first round because I got so much infantry that I can use. All right, here is Tiger Leader. I pulled Allied Air Control. Discard this start of the move battalion step to retreat a non-affixed battalion that is not an enemy breakthrough. So I could push one of these guys back later, so that's a good card to get. So now I'm going to assign units. I'm going after the scout force. I realized I just can't do it on the tactical turn 1. So I'm going after scout. I brought my Hellcat, mortar team, experienced rifle team, experienced anti-tank, and a half-track. And he's going to get this right here, plus 2 tanks. So now we do the event card. Gain 1 victory point if you destroy this battalion. So that is very cool to get. And then place turn counter, place terrain tiles. So that's not good. That's not good. That's not good. All right, not bad. All right, so there's our board. We've got heavy, light all through here. That is impassable. So I'm gonna have to, good thing this guy is fast. So, place turn counter terrain, place friendly units. I'm gonna put this guy here. Oops, 1002. get this one. Experienced rifle team. Go here. Rifle team here. Anti-tank team. Half-track. Motor team. Put them right there. Alright, so now place enemy unit team. So I picked 2 tanks. Let's see what I come up with. A Panther and a Panzer IV. So that is not good. And I need these dice. Okay, so we roll these guys right here. 9. Oh, that's tactical move, excuse me. All right, so truck 4. That goes here. Panther 3. Panzer 4, 1. Truck 0. Armored car 9. 5 for the armored car. Let's say rifle 6 right there. Rifle 4. 2. Okay. So that's how it starts. I got the Panther and the Panzer IV back there. And so now we go to the fast move. The only fast one I've got is this guy right here. He can move 2 speed. So, oh wait, before we go, let's see. Unit advancement. Okay, so MG move up 1. Rifle move up 2. And that's how it's going to start. So, fast move. I'm going to go 1, 2. And then they go, oh, I got to roll to see how aggressive they are. 4, and on the bulge, that is a D10. So they get to roll movement on D10. So rifle here, it's an 8. All right, so rifle HE advance. So we move towards these guys here. And this guy moves up here. Truck, advance to cover, advancing to cover, advance, armored car and tank, advance if cannot attack. So let's see, he's got a range of 2, so 1, let's see, 1, 2, 3, advance, 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 advance. All right, so now I can move, but I can't attack. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move these guys here and these guys here. All right, so that's the end of turn 1. So I go down to next turn and I've got fast. So I've got my anti-tank here, Hellcat. He's got a 5. He can go after the Panther. It's a 5, 6, 7. So I need 7s to hit him, but then he's got a 4 defense, but he's out in the open. This is what the Hellcat is for. So I'm gonna go for it. So it's a 7. Oh, but I get a +3. So that's a 4. And I get a hit. And that is no defense, so the panther is killed. So that worked out very well for me. Let me just check the rolls again. All right, so I took out the panther. That's real good news. That's their best unit, but they're all up in my face here. So now they get to move. 0s, that's a 10. All right, so let's start with the rifles. HE advance. So he's gonna advance into here. He's gonna advance into here. Oh, I forgot to fire with those guys. All right, so let me back up here just for a second, because these guys, they get to attack even though they moved. So him, 111, defensive 3, defensive 4, and then see, those guys are out in the open. 904, defensive 3. Okay, so they're all 3. So you go after the rifle team. He rolls 2 times. He needs a 5, 6 because he moved, and he missed. Okay, this guy here was out of range. I suppose he could have gone after the Hellcat, which would have a 2 defense now, so he needs an 8, and he missed. Okay. All right, so now they move into here. Let's see, truck, advance that cannot attack. Let's see, armored car, AP advanced, and the Pearson goes over there. Truck, it's gonna move over here. Machine gun, HE advance. Armored car, AP advance, AP advance. Okay, so that's what it looks like now. All right, so this guy is going to shoot. He needs 5s against the 904. All right, so he needs 5s. He's got 2 hits, so defensive 3, defensive 4, and so 1 hit. So we take a damage on the rifle team, and it's a casualty. Okay, armored car, he's gonna go after the Hellcat. So that is a 5, 6s. I don't know if he needs 6 to move, let's see what happens. 1 hit, and I've got a defensive 2, so that's a hit on the Hellcat. And it is destroyed, 2 stress, that is really bad. So I put 2 stress on the commander, lost the Hellcat, that's awesome. Okay, and the truck is going to shoot at 904. Oh, wait a second. He can go after him. Hold on a second. I might be able to escape this. For enemy attacks, after you move an attack, use the line of sight. Each enemy will only attack 1 friendly unit each turn. Unit automatically targets a friendly unit that has the lowest attack roll required to hit. So it's either one. If more than 1 friendly unit has the same lowest attack, the one with the lowest overall defense, they're both the same. If more than 1 has the same lowest defense, choose 1 to be attacked. Okay, so lose the half track, absolutely. So it's good to have that in there. All right, so now the rifle is gonna go after, let's see, 101, 111. experienced anti-tank team. Yeah, so they're going to go after the experienced anti-tank team. And that is going to be 2 hits, and I've got 4s. And I failed, so that's 2 hits on the anti-tank team. No effect and no effect. That's beautiful. Alright. And then we've got the machine guns. And they're going after the anti-tank team. And they need 3s to hit. And that is 1 hit. Got 4, and it bounces. This guy right here, he needs 5 6s to hit. 1 hit. And that bounces. Beautiful. And this guy here, he's got these 4s, 5s for the range. So that's 1 hit. And it goes through on the anti-tank team. So let's see what we got here. Anti-tank, 1 stress. That's fine. We can handle that. We can take it. Oh, I should have taken off negatives. Okay, I'll get that right next time. All right, so now we didn't move. And this is destroyed. That's off the board. All right, so 904 is going to go after the rifles. So 904, that's a rifle team. They have a casualty. 0, so HE's 5s. That's 2 hits, and he's got defensive 4. So he defends 1, but the other is destroyed. All right, so now 111. Anti-tank team's going to go after the armored car. So the armored car is 5s. So that's 1 hit and a 2 defense. Nope, armored car is destroyed. Okay, and then the expert rifle team here is going to shoot HE at the rifles here. They've got -1 for 0, so that's a 5 that they need. And that's 1 hit, needing 4s, so he bounces. Mortar team, gonna go after him. Marksman, so the terrain doesn't matter. So they have a 3 plus 3, so plus 3 to dice. That's 1 hit. Yes, that's 1 hit. And he does not bounce, so the rifle is dead. Let's see, is that everybody? Now I've got a tactic here and a tactic here. So the expert rifle team here can go after the machine gun, use a tactic. So they get +1, so they need 3s to hit a machine gun. And they got both of them. And 3s to bounce, so one of them bounces, but the other is destroyed. All right, now the anti-tank team, they have a tactic. And so they are 111, they're here. So they got HE 7 +1, so I need 6s to take the machine gun out. 6s, that's 1 hit, and it bounces. All right, so now we go down a turn. And the expert rifle team is going to use their tactic to go first. They're going to do a fast action to go after that machine gun there. So they get you need 3s. That's 1 hit, and it does not bounce. The machine guns are dead. Anti-tank team's going to hold on to their tactic, and the Hellcat is fast, so he's going to go after the armored car here. So that is 5 plus 3, so I need 2. That's 2 hits. And 1 bounces, but the other destroys it. So that's good. And now they go. Alright, so now they're down to 1, 2, 5. So they're half strength. Minus 2 when half strength. So let's see what they do now. So that becomes a 6. Advanced, it cannot attack. He can attack them. So he's not going to advance. A truck. Cautious advancer, it's not going to advance. So neither truck is going to advance. Alright, so the first truck is going to shoot at 904. He misses. He's out of range. He can shoot -1 to the roll. He's going to go after the 3. Oh, truck missed. Okay. Alright, so now the tank going after the weaker thing. He normally is a 4, 5. 5. Okay, so he's got 1 hit, and I need a 4 to bounce. And I bounced it. Perfect. Alright, so now I go. Hellcat's already gone. 904. If I take out a truck, it's over. So 904. These guys right here, HE, because he's HE. So I need a 5 to hit. And I got 1 hit. And it doesn't bounce. The truck is dead. And so they're going to run away because they're down to 4 points, tank and this, so they run away. And yeah, the battle's going to be over. Rifles treat these over. So is the game over right there? Let me check. Okay. So, yes, once I get it down to 4, it is over. And so this battle is over. I lost a half track. This guy's got 2 stress. So we lost this half track. He's now out of the game. That goes back in there. These guys get an extra stress. These guys have a casualty. So if I get a second casualty, it's destroyed. So let's take this off and put a stress marker on it. There we go. And these guys are now done. And they did a good job because I get an extra victory point for destroying this. Okay. Alright, so now we do another event card. Keep this card, discard it at the start of any battle to gain 1 extra battle. So I got an extra scout there. I'm getting good cards here, that's good. Alright, so now we look at stress. So he's going to get, this is another thing I like about this game. I was able to put all the pieces, including all the Japanese pieces, into one tray. Unlike the Spruance, which is, I mean, it's great to have all those pieces, but, you know, it's also great to be a little bit more organized. All right, so this guy's going to get 1 stress. Mortar team, he gets no stress, 2 stress. This guy's going to get 1 stress. Come on, fingers. And this guy's going to get another stress. This guy's going to get a total of 4 stress. Put that there. Alright, so that's the end of the first battle. This one comes off the board. It is destroyed. And that's good news. And these guys are used up. Next battle is going to be against the scout group. And I've got another half track, rifle team, anti-tank team, and anti-tank team. So, and they're gonna have 2 rifles and 4 armored cars. As you see, the armored cars can be pretty dangerous. So hopefully those anti-tank teams can take out those armored cars, and we'll see what happens on this battle.